Every January, the pressure arrives right on schedule. New goals, new habits, new versions of ourselves we're apparently supposed to unveil immediately, fully formed, fully baked, highly motivated, coiffed, running on 8 hours of sleep. I try that. And it just never lasts. It just doesn't last. What has shaped me and my life again and again is choosing one word to live into the next year. Not as a slogan really, but as something to motivate and drive me forward. Not mostly as an orientation, because a word becomes a compass, a filter, a steady returning point when things get hard or super noisy as life does. So this year, my word is undeterred. And I didn't choose it from like this calm season. I chose it for a lived experience, undeterred. It isn't a force. It's what happens on the edge. So years ago, I had a trainer. His name was Mike Champagne. I love this guy. Yes, that was his real name. And yes, he fully embodied it. He was amazing. So Mike understood people, especially when they were right on that edge. And he understood me. He knew my zaniness. And so one day I was under the bench and I was bench pressing and he was putting on all kinds of weight, like total effort. And he was spotting me and standing over me. And I was pushing through and I was getting to the end. Like I was pretty much done. And, I'm like grinding and I'm twisting on the bar. And then my mind begins the usual commentary about like, I gotta quit. Like this isn't gonna work. Like I can't do it. And then it hits. That moment where my body says, this is enough. And your mind starts looking for an exit. It's just by nature, that's what we do. That's the edge. And so Mike leaned down and he looked straight at me and he could see what was happening. And he said, uh-oh, here she goes. Because he knew something. He knew that what happens is when I'm at my edge, I do something really nuts. And he knew this about me. He understood. And this is my process. He knew that when I was at the edge, there would be this overwhelming, inexplicable sense of joy in me. And I would just start laughing uncontrollably. Like I'm under the bar and I'm like just cracking up. And he always would be like this. Oh, here she goes. But then I would pull myself together and then boom, boom, boom. I finished my reps. So you see, this is that feeling, the edge. And on that edge, I have this incredible sense of joy that really makes me realize and still fuels me through everything in my life. That through hardship, through challenge, on the other side of that and through that is this sense of joy. And that sounds so weird, but it's true for me. And that's why Mike is so amazing. He didn't interrupt it. He just knew that I was going to let it rip and joy was at my edge. And for a long time, I thought that, like joy was the end result, like a lot of people, right? But I didn't realize that it was, wow, that really is my process, that it is at my edge where I experience this thing. And so personally, I sort of never really believed that joy was on the other end, because I always, for some reason, knew that in the struggle, the joy was part of the magic. It wasn't some reward at the finish line. It was the fuel. It was the fuel that showed up right when I wanted to quit and yell at my coach and say, what are you doing? And so anyway, the reason why I bring that up is because that moment on the bench with the greatest coach ever, Mike Champagne, was something I've carried far beyond the gym. Literally far beyond. Because undeterred, it doesn't mean life is smooth. That I know. What it means is you don't turn back when things get uncomfortable. It means you don't shrink when you're misunderstood. You don't stop when clarity on what you want costs comfort. And you don't abandon yourself at the edge. No. See, for me, living undeterred is living fully into the light of what is mine to do, what God and I have arranged together, without constantly explaining myself, apologizing or editing my truth, being too loud, too enthusiastic. And yes, that kind of living with being understood, it's just been my lifeline. It's not a sign, really, if you're feeling misunderstood, that you're doing anything wrong. Often it's a sign that you're clear. And maybe other people question it, but you know what's true. So choosing one word for the year isn't really about limitation. It's about aligning yourself boldly. A word helps you. It helps you recognize when you're drifting. And you can decide what deserves your energies to stay present in it when the work gets hard. You see, because when you choose that word well, it doesn't live in your planner. It lives in your body. You embody that word. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to choose your word. And if you feel like playing with me, here's a sample process that you can certainly try. So choose a word, number one, that you feel. Say it out loud. If it lands in your belly or makes you pause, pay attention. You really want a word that's going to move you and you feel emotionally. Journal, number two, why this word matters. Why it matters now. Why this year. Why this moment. What has life been teaching you that you want to live into? And number three, apply it where the edge is in your life. Is it in relationships? Is it in work? Is it in health? Is it in faith? Is it in your boundaries? Start where it matters the most. Tip of the sword. Number four, imagine the ripple effect. How would others be affected if you lived fully in this word? How would your presence change? How would it change rooms, friendships? Number five, be honest about how and who you want to walk with you and who can't. You see, living with clarity attracts what aligns and releases what does not. And both are necessary. Both are true. So living undeterred for me, it means making a commitment. Like this isn't always going to be comfortable, but the clarity is powerful. Empower, when it's rooted in purpose, for you, what that is, it will set you free. So this year, I'm choosing to live undeterred. Not because I won't reach edges. Oh, how I know I will. Because I know what meets me there. Sometimes it's strength, sometimes it's grit, and sometimes, unexpectedly, it's inexplicable joy. Rising up and saying, keep going, Kate McKay, you're alive. If you're ready to explore your own word more deeply, and you can certainly download my New Year's Year Intention Worksheet below. Just click on it. And if you're ready to take action, you can also book a call with me, a reboot clarity call, which we will go over your word and set some intention and structure around it. I love this stuff. We'll get started on making this year full of focus, energy, and confidence. So however you begin, my dear friend, begin powerfully, because the world doesn't need a smaller version of you. It needs you living boldly.